Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Run It to the King podcast. This is your host, DJ, and today will be a short, quick episode as we're gonna discuss the National Hockey League and the NBA playoff race as of today, March 12th, 2025. And the NHL playoffs should begin next month in April, and it will begin on Sportsnet and on ESPN. But let's talk about the playoff race as we speak. So we'll start from the Western Conference. But before we do predict who is going in, who's going out, let's recap so far. Um, the teams that has surprised me that on this list are the Vancouver Canucks. Because as you know, the Canucks had locker room issue with JT Miller and Patterson, and that's why they let JT Miller walk. Even though the Vancouver Canucks, as we speak, they are 13 games left. They have 69 points, and they are only 1 point behind the Flames for the last wild card spot. Because the other teams, like from the Blues, Utah, Ducks, Kraken, Nashville, Hawks, Sharks, they're unrelevant. And I expected Predators to be a high ranked team, but as you know, because they signed Stamkos, but as you know, they had a lot of injuries and they have struggled on the road, but they have won the last four games. But they're irrelevant, as you guys know. So the Flames are obviously holding the second wild card spot. The Wild, I think the Wild are expected to make the wild card or even the playoffs, as they're only 3 points back of the Avs with 81 points, and the Avs are coming off a huge loss after beating the Leafs 7-4. Um, as you know, Oilers are second, Golden Knights are doing their thing, Kings as well, but the LA Kings need to keep winning because there there's only like for them they got 20 games left, so they want to win as much can to make the playoffs, because the Kings want to avoid the wild card, because usually the division winners will play the wild card, and I don't think the Kings have the right roster, have the right group of men to even play the red hot Winnipeg Jets, who's had 45 wins. And we, like, as a Canadian, I don't want the Flames and the Canucks being in a wild card, because obviously they're gonna have to face Winnipeg. The more Canadian teams in without have to play in the wild card. But for the Western Conference, what I'm looking at now is what I expected to be at the end of the season. And this is no disrespect to the Canucks and Flames, but I think one of them is gonna go in, and I think the Canucks will beat the Flames for the last playing spot. The Wild are not going anywhere. Um, but that's it for the West, and we'll do a separate show for the playoffs preview and who we think is gonna win the Stanley Cup. But as of now, in the West, I got the Canucks and the Wild holding the last spot. And the West is not that strong as the East. Um, well, according to my knowledge, I don't think they are. But let's go to the Eastern Conference. The East is more close than what it is in the West, because if you go from the wild card, which owns by Ottawa right now with 73 points, and the Pittsburgh Penguins with 62, and that's just 11 points back. Um, and it's really close. But the closer is from Islanders, Detroit, Boston, Rangers, Habs, Jackets, and Sens only separates 7 points. So it's a very close. And for the Sens, after losing five straight, they have won four consecutive games and they pull up a huge win. They won last night against the Flyers 5-2, which was a huge win for Ottawa. And Ottawa needs to keep playing as they are to make the play. And they are trying to catch the Lightning, but I don't see Tampa Bay keep on struggling as they have. They lost back-to-back games for the first time in months, but the Lightning, I think they expected to stay as the third. And the one thing that, because I'm a Leaf fan, that Leafs Nation, the passion that unites us all, don't want to have is facing Tampa Bay again in the first round. But as you know, Leafs beat the Lightning last season and the year before they lost, obviously. But the Leafs need um they need to play much better. Lately they picked up huge disappointing losses, and yeah, they won in a shootout against Utah. But you can't be 39 and 22, top in the NHL, and losing, barely beating Utah, who's bottom, like the basement feeders. So the Leafs need to play better. But now for the wild card spot. As much as I like more Canadian teams, as I mentioned, the Habs are only 2 points back of the second wild card, who's owned by Columbus right now. So Sens need to. Well, I don't like Ottawa as a Leaf fan, but as a Canadian team, you want Ottawa to keep on winning and keep picking those extra points, which they have this season, as they lost seven straight in extra time. Um, but in the Atlantic, I expect it to be what I'm looking now, which is Florida, Toronto, Tampa Bay. In the Metro, I think it's going to also stay the same. Red Hot, Capitals, Canes, Devils. Um, I just like the way the standings are perfect. The Rangers have been disappointing. The Bruins have been disappointing. The Wings have been disappointing as well after a strong start to the season. They lost 6 games in a row. Flyers are their goalies trash as every year, but the team that's the most disappointing in the NHL is the Penguins. The management have not given Crosby the right state of mind of a roster, because their roster is ass right now. But I don't think the Penguins will even make the wild card. I don't think they'll make it. 26 wins, 31 losses as an elite team as they were. It's really disappointing. And you feel bad for Sidney Crosby. Well, Sabres are always last as every year, but I expect the three teams that I expect to fight in the wild card are the Habs, surprisingly, the Rangers, and the Bruins. As long as my Devils and the Leafs are in, that's what matters. But again, the Leafs need to end the season strong. Um, all year long, they have been having lots of injuries, drama, the Four Nations, Marner speculation. Like, bruh, they're not trading Marner for a bunch of no names, especially Ran. Like that's disrespecting Mitch Marner. But that's it for the Eastern Conference. And again, we'll have a separate show for the playoff and wild card game preview. That's it for the NHL. let's go on to the NBA. And again, we'll start from the Western Conference. Um, well, before I start, there's only two teams right now that are officially eliminated and officially in. The Cleveland Cavaliers, 55-10, have possibly clinched the Eastern Conference in the standings, but though they are the first team to clinch a spot in the playoffs, and the Utah Jazz are the first team to officially be eliminated. Utah are ass, trash. Their management's trash. Their team's ass. The only player that's actually getting better is Kessler, and as you know, Clarkson and Sexton, who've been dealing with being ass. That's what it is. They're just so bad. Um, yeah, Utah has lost six straight. They won't make the playoffs once again. The Pelicans have been disappointing. Zion is in and out of the lineup with injuries. Ingram got traded mid in the trade deadline, well before the trade deadline. Um, he was injured. CJ McCollum was struggling. They lost Deja to Murray to injury in the beginning of the season. So it's a big mess for the Pels, and it's really disappointing. And there's no way they're gonna make the play-in because they're 15 games behind Dallas, and there's no way they will win the next. Even if they win the next 15, they wouldn't even make the play-in. Even if they went on a 15-game winning streak, uh, don't matter. The Spurs have not been disappointing at 26-37. They lost Wembanyama. They got Fox in, so it was just a big change. And they're only 6 game back, but I don't see them making the plan. I'd be shocked if they make it, but they wouldn't even make a big time in the plan. So it would be like it wouldn't be worth because they won't even the teams that they will face in the plan. They have no business with them. So I don't think the Spurs going anywhere. Blazers surprisingly at 28-38, they're only 5.5 games behind Dallas for the last play-in, and it it's weird to say that, but the Blazers are gonna fight with the Suns for the last play-in spot. It's funny to say this because they're only 6 full games. So Dallas would have to lose 6 straight, and Portland would have to win 6 straight for them to reach the play-in. And then the Suns have been playing better as of late, but I guess I would say it's too late now, but it's not over until it officially says that the Suns are out. So the Suns still have a chance. Well, the Blazers have lost 4 straight. Suns are coming off a huge disappointing loss in Memphis. We'll talk about KD in a sec, because that's the talk of the drama online is about Kevin Durant being toxic as always. But as of right now in the West, teams that have surprised me, uh, the Rockets did not surprise me. I knew the Rockets was gonna come out flying after a disappointing season last, and they've been playing well. Fred's been missing a lot of games. Jalen Green has stepped up. Brooks was a huge signing for Houston a couple years ago, and it has helped them deeply. And they've won 3 straight, and Fred's been came back to the lineup and re-injured himself. So they don't need Fred now. They're playing real well. You know, Nuggets, OKC, um, Lakers are just Warriors are there's only four teams that can make the NBA Finals, according to me, is OKC, Denver, Lakers, Warriors, and that's it. Um, the Kings are struggling. That team went from being a top team last season to being a mediocre team. And this is not, I'm not here disrespecting DeMar, Levine, JV, Sabonis, but trading Fox and firing Mike Brown, that was horrendous. Clippers missing Kawhi all season long, and he came back, and they've been playing well as of late. Um, they've been playing well, but again, the only team that I see fighting for the play-in are the Phoenix Suns, which means I don't think Dallas will keep that spot. Um, if AD returns, maybe yes, but as of now, I see Phoenix taking the last spot over Dallas. And Kings have been struggling of late. Sabonis is out with injury, so all these teams they need to win games. Um, it's not like guaranteed that they're gonna go in, even though they're expected to. Golden State have been red hot as of late. They've won five straight and nine out of the last 10. And the Warriors are sixth spot, and I see them even catching up to number two seed the way they're playing right now. Nuggets again, they've been playing amazing as of late. Started the season horribly, and you know what Lakers are. Because I got Lakers reaching the finals against OKC. But again, for the West, I got the Suns making it, and Dallas will be out. And that depends on the status of Anthony Davis. Now, what everyone says, the weak Eastern Conference. Because if you look, the last playing team in the West has 33 wins, right? The, so in the East, the Dallas would be in the playoffs as a seven seed, as six seed. No, yeah, they would be in the plan, but the first playing team, seven seed. That's how weak the conference is. Now for the East, the teams that are out do not surprise me, except for one team, 76ers, man. That team is full of clowns, full of trash people. Paul George, who the hell's that guy, man? Like, what? He went from being a best two-way player in the league, Indiana, OKC, Clippers, and seeing how he's playing this year is so bad. Embiid is out. Max have been playing well this season, but all of this does not matter when you're 22 and 42 as an team. Elite team. That is horrible. Under 500, they're 20 games behind in the loss column. They're 12 and 21 at home, 10-21 away. They're 3 and 10 against your division. They have scored. They're number 4 dead last in the East in points for. That is horrible, man. Um, but the Bulls have surprised me after losing DeMar Levine, and Vooch has been missing the last 10 games, and they're still, as of right now, in the plan. Well, Sixers are only 3.5 games out of the plan. Raptors as well. Nets as well. Raptors are playing as of late. They won 5 of the last 10. They picked up Hugh Jones, but they have faked. Like, they've been tanking because they would bench their starters in the fourth. But we don't know what Toronto is doing right now. Um, I don't like. Maybe they have a chance. That's a big maybe. Because the Magic have struggled. The Miami Heat have lost 4 straight games. So you never know. Anything can happen. But as of now, I don't see it changing. Unless Paul George like becomes Paul George, not Pandemic P. The plan will stay the same as I'm watching. Pistons are they're only 6 games ahead, and I don't see these teams winning 6 games in a row. So what I see in the plan is what I'm gonna see at the actual plan 1 month from now. Um, the playoff, the standings does not surprise me. The Bucks is the one team that I, that I'm telling you right now that they'll be gone in the first round. I don't know, man. They're struggling. Even Giannis, that big loss last night to Indiana, giving a 4 point play to Tyrese, like near the buzzer. Um, so I don't know, but I don't see like in the East. Forget the playing teams. The teams that are in the playoffs. There's only Knicks with Brunson. He's back in 2 weeks. Cavs, Celtics, Knicks. All these other trash teams don't do nothing, and I don't consider them an it factor, an underdog, um, to beat those top 3 teams. Maybe the Bucks could step up. That's a big maybe. It depends, not just Damian Lillard. It depends on Giannis Antetokounmpo. Where Giannis plays, how he plays, is what is where the ceiling for the Bucks is. Um, but other than that, Cavs, Celtics, Knicks are the most relevant in the East. And as you know, we'll make a separate show once the play-in is set. Once the play-in is set, we'll make a show and predict everything. But yeah, so that is my predictions. I don't see it changing in the East for the play-in for the West as well. I just got Dallas out, seen Suns in, and I don't think AD will come back. But if he does, they might have a chance. They might have a chance. But guys, thanks for tuning in to the Run It to the King podcast as we debated the play-in for the NBA prediction and the wild card teams for the NHL. Thank you for tuning in. Check us out on Spotify. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube. TikTok. Follow us on Twitter. And this is your boy DJ signing out. Peace.